Awesome. Here we are. We are live. I am so excited to welcome you to this Give Voice to Your Vision conversation with the amazing Jonathan England, who is a new friend, and I am a new fan, having just discovered his work. John or Jonathan? Jonathan? Jonathan.
Most people just call me John.
Yeah. John. Awesome. John is an amazing visionary, the most down-to-earth visionary I've met in a long time. And he is helping other people to find purpose and meaning and to wake up to this life. So, you know, those of you who've been with me here for a while know that that is our jam as well. We do that through visibility and giving voice. And I'm super excited to have a casual, light, intense, deep, fun, wherever it goes conversation with this lovely human. Welcome, John.
Hey, Michelle. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we're just kind of going to go with it. We didn't set up any specific direction to go, and we're just going to go with flow and see what's being called forth from us today. So, yeah,
I love it. So you, new friend, but I have been dabbling in your book and reviewing your book and looking through some of your things. So tell me how you came to discover this calling, and then we'll jump into our topic. How did you wake up?
So my book is actually, it's about 5 levels of consciousness, or 5 states of conscious orientation, 5 ways to perceive reality. So, there were several phases along the way, several phases of awakening. So that's what the book is really about, like the awakening to each of those specific levels. So really how it began for me to go from level 1 to level 2, which was that first awakening, was I was blackout drunk like 6 nights a week. I got a DUI on New Year's. And, you know, when it's time to get a lesson, it usually shows up as a feather stroke. If you don't get the feather stroke, then you get the nudge. If you don't get the nudge, then the shove. And then if you still don't get your lesson, the 2x4 shows up. So my first 2x4 was a DUI on New Year's, but that wasn't enough. You know, I needed multiple. I was like, I'm real, you know, always been kind of a stubborn guy. So it wasn't one 2x4. August 24th of that same year, I rear-ended a car at a stoplight when I was blackout drunk. Now, luckily, nobody got hurt, but then when I was sitting in jail, that's when it really, the awakening began, sitting in jail, which was one of the worst moments, but became one of the greatest, because I know it was August 24th because that was my mom's birthday. So I was always this guy that was trying to just be a really good person and just trying to, you know, be the savior for my family. And now here I am on my mom's birthday being the failure, you know. And so sitting in jail.
There's already some synchronicity going on, because my birthday is New Year's Eve. And I did not know that we had the alcoholic drug addiction bottom in common. So
you had that too? Okay.
I did. It was the beginning of my awakening. High five, 92 for me. It was really a coping mechanism, like to stay in the dark and to handle what felt so intense to be alive in the world. And it was definitely that was a beginning of my own waking up to having choice and creating a life, and actually being able to do all those things I felt called to do. So I love hearing that.
Yeah, I just wanted to be happy, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, well, what's this drugs, alcohol, party kind of stuff? Maybe that'll do it. And, you know, just numbing myself, because I was so trapped in my mind, because I was terrified to feel. And because I was just packing and stacking, I didn't want to feel. I thought my feelings didn't matter. So I was always too worried about everybody else's feelings. Like, if I felt, then they already had enough to deal with. I don't want to add any burden to them. So I'm just not going to feel anything. And I was like a robot walking around. I remember when somebody got really angry around me one time, like, I'd like to know how to do that. Like, I'd never been angry. Asking you shall receive. Later on in my journey, I finally got to be angry. And I was like, no, take it back. I don't want to be angry. That was horrible. It took a lot to push the button enough to, you know, pop it out of me. And I was ready for it. But I'm glad that I got to, you know, feel and like process all that stuff too. But yeah, so that was the beginning of the awakening, is when I was sitting in jail and I'm like, all right, you know, this isn't working, John. This is insanity. I've got to do something different. I could have killed somebody. Luckily, nobody got hurt, but I could have. Yeah. And so sitting in jail, I'm like, well, you know, I've got to do something different. What am I going to do? And in that moment, I decided, well, maybe life's not about my happiness. Maybe it's about like figuring out how to make other people happy. Now, that was actually not a wise decision either, but it was
it's a stepping stone. It was a stepping stone.
At least it started the journey. So it was more than just about me. But, you know, I was like, I'm going to make my family happy if it kills me. At least it's.
Sorry, I had two screens started popping up on me, and I was hearing you in echo. So here we are. We're back.
Yeah. So, but I was like, well, how am I going to do that then? So I decided, well, I need to, get a nice house and build a family and do all the things. And well, how am I going to do that? Because I'm a pretty lazy guy. So how would I come up with? Because I don't want to just work all the time. So I decided, like, well, how would I do that? And then I, found my first mentor and learned real estate investing. So in my first start with no money, no credit, no clue. In my first 18 months, I made 400 grand. Within 2 years, I built a multi-million-dollar empire. So that was the beginning of my journey. So when I started taking responsibility for my reality.
So powerful.
And then once I did that, because my whole life I was told that if you want to make more money, what do you got to do? Work really hard and work a lot of hours. And suddenly I'm doing the opposite of that. I'm working less hard than I've ever worked and less hours and suddenly making way more money than ever. I'm like, well, hold on, I've been lied to then. And if I've been lied to about that, what else have I been lied to about?
Interesting.
And now I was making a lot of money, and I was like, well, and I knew how I got the results. I found a mentor. I found somebody who had already had a recipe. Because, if you want to bake a world-class cake, you don't need to spend 30 years to become a world-class chef. You just go get the recipe and you can cook it that evening. So I was like, this works. I could just get recipes. So that's what I started doing. And I got addicted to personal development. I invested over $500,000 in my own personal development in several years, and just trying to like really get a grasp on what actually works instead of just doing things because I was told to do them. Starting 100%. Doing things that actually work. Stop doing what doesn't work and just start doing what does. And didn't it led to just massive success, but that was still just the end of level 2. And there's 5 levels.
So where are you through all 5 now?
Yeah. So this again, the 5 levels was just this journey. That's how it got exposed to me. I'm like, oh, and because level 5 is just complete surrender, where not my will but thine be done, and I don't really 100%. Make my decisions anymore. I just you tell me what would love having me do here. So I love it. It was quite a wild journey.
It's incredible. And I think that so many people now are feeling either that first step, bottom, like this isn't working for me, and of course, many people, thousands and millions of people have felt that over time and throughout life, but it's really heightened right now. So I love having this conversation. And I'm talking to so many people too, who are really feeling this calling that there's something else that's trying to come through. And one of the things that I hear people struggle with is like permission and allowed. And how do I, is it real for me, or how do I get through? And you're talking about awareness. I had a great conversation with Krista Inachovsky this past about the awareness and how awareness is that first step. So you have you've got 5 steps to purpose and prosperity that we're going to dig into today. And that's a really great topic for people here in this community who are feel called, but maybe not sure how to make that calling into this outward success that you've had. 100% echo that surrender is the place to be for allowing that to happen. So I would love for you to just, kind of go through those steps with us if you're willing to, and give us some insights into how they're relevant to our life here today, and how we can bring them into our own experience.
Nice. Yeah. So those 5 steps are the 5 levels. So the first step, so level 1 is really where the majority of the planet is in. And it's this victim mentality to where it's, I've been playing my hand the best I can, but I got dealt the crappy hands. And it's like, just poor me kind of thing. And
life's happening to me, not for me.
It's happening to me. And so the number 1 mistake that keeps people in that level is caring what other people think. And if you're so worried about what other people think, then you're going to do what other people do. And if you do what other people do, you get what other people are getting. And what other people are getting right now is just not what they want. And so that's it's like the crabs in the bucket that you don't get out because you're still worried about what your family thinks, or what your friends think, or what your, the people on Facebook think. So you don't ever take a step out and do something different. because you'll
That's
get
a super relevant step right here in this space where we're talking so much about visibility and being seen and coming forward with your gift, your message, because it boils down to fear of what other people think every single time, all the way down. And it can be crippling, it can be paralyzing, it can be send you into delusions of inadequacy or grandeur. Fear of what other people think is really what stops most of us from being highly visible, sharing our voice, doing the things we are called to do, living our life on our own terms. So that can't be overstated. I love it.
Yeah. And so just a little tidbit, a little tool if you'd like to overcome that really quickly. Because you face your fears, you either face them within or you face them without. You face them by chance or you face them by choice. Either way, you're going to face them. There's no running, there's no hiding. Every one of your fears and every one of your judgments you'll be face to face with at some point. So why not do it by choice? Why not do it within? So the most successful generals pick the time and the place for the battle. So if you're about to go to battle with your ego, you pick the time and the place. You said it's like, you can kind of set up like a little. Have you ever seen Star Trek where they got that little hologram room they go into and they go fight in there? Yeah, so you can create your own little room, kind of like hologram, that you go in and fight with your ego, and then okay, cool, now you got it. But so what you can actually do is, what are you so afraid of, and just write it down. Like if I go put myself out there, if I go just share a video, if I go live stream, or if I make my challenge or my course or something, what is the biggest fear? Like what's the worst that could ever possibly happen? And then just write what those things down. What are the worst thing anybody could ever say about me? And just write it down. And then just like look at it and just like feel into it. And then just like release your fear of it, release your resistance to it, like step into it. Like I know people always say like visualize what the greatest thing, and that's great, but also visualize like the worst and then move into the love, because resistance breeds persistence. What you fight against, you create. So just you can release the resistance to it, and now it doesn't have to come chase you down. Find the lie before the lie finds you, because it will get you. Because the lie is like, well, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. So if somebody says something really bad about you, then how does it make you feel about yourself? Well, just face that stuff and then say, well, that's just bull crap, that's not true. There's not a single on this planet who's not worthy of love. So what makes me like, how am I the only person on the planet who's not worthy of love? Because you look at anybody else, and you're like, yeah, they're worthy of love. You can look at any person, of course they're worthy. Even, they did some screwed up stuff, but they're still worthy. Everybody's worthy. So why am I not allowing myself to be? So face those fears by choice rather than by chance. You pick the time, the place for the battle, and then just go out there.
Yeah, and for me, that has required a container, a place, a community, sometimes a mentor, a guide, all that personal development work that you've done. For me, business is an expression of my spiritual self. It is my spiritual path. And because that's what holding back from sharing my message was the thing that was causing me so much pain. And it was all based on what other people think. And I did have people say really bad things about me, and it did suck, and it did shut me down. And so to come through that and up out of that and realize that I could keep living in that pattern or that dynamic or not, was incredibly empowering. And I love what you're saying about, feeling the fear, face everything and recover, right? Feeling the fear, but not getting stuck in it, or not letting it become who you are, and not letting it make all your decisions for you. Beautiful, beautiful. So powerful to become, not just like shove yourself out there and like, okay, I'm just going to do it and hustle, but to go through the process of both acknowledging, again, we're back to that awareness step, right? Acknowledging, I didn't even know I was scared, right? I didn't even know I was scared. And so to really come into honesty with yourself about that. And I say here, you are worthy simply because you exist. And your business is not about you and your worthiness, and the results you can help people get, and your message and your mission not only is not about you. It really has nothing to do with you. It's about the impact you can create, and people, your gift is priceless. And so that whole pricing and visibility thing and all that other stuff that comes around is really a matter of choice and decisions and strategy. But if you're in the fear mode and the reaction mode, you can't make those decisions.
Yeah.
Super crippling. Yeah. All right. If you're here, say hi.
So releasing the fear of what other people think, that once you've done that, you'll just automatically just pop right up into level 2, because now you're not just performing just to try to get attention or significance from somebody else or approval, you're like, okay, now what do I want? Because I'm not worried about what I'm getting from anybody else. What do I want? And then that's when you can step into level 2, which level 1 is called disoriented. You just got no orientation, no direction. Level 2 is called goal oriented. Now you start to set your goals, like, all right, cool. And you put those goals in place.
Mm-hmm.
And so the number one mistake in level 2 is lack of clarity and focus. So if you ever want to succeed, you're going to have to get clear and you're going to have to get focused. Like light can cut through steel. Water can cut through steel. How? Focus, but coherent focus, going in the same direction, like same wavelength. So fear and faith. See, fear is imagination running wild. Yep. Faith, imagination focused.
Focused imagination. I love it.
That's all it is. Same exact thing. They're both imagination. Fear is just imagination running wild. Oh God, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, faith, imagination, focus. I got a vision and I'm going to focus on this vision. I'm going to hold it in my head till I can hold it in my hand. I'm going to let it live in me until I can live in it.
Awesome. So can I interject a little tool that I share a lot just to illustrate this point for folks that are here? If you're looking to do video or you're looking to boost speaking or you're looking to be more visible or you're looking to become an influencer, that, whatever you're afraid of is made up. And you can make up the story that you want. It's one of the first tools that I teach. And I learned it as an actor. I was a professional actor. We pretend all of it. And you can pretend for the good. You can pretend that you're confident. You can pretend your way, imagine your way into confidence, and then take the actions, and the confidence and clarity comes on the other side. So this is really relevant to all of everything you're sharing is like, boom, life exploding. And it's super relevant to people who feel called and want to contribute and want to make an impact, not because you have to prove your worth or your goals, right? But because that's what you're here to do. Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. I'll keep going.
Yeah. So once you've got your clarity and focus, you're like, no matter what, this is it. I've made a decision. Once you decide, you cut off all other options. It's inevitable. It is done. Once you've made decisions, you start to trust your word. If I say this, I've got integrity. What I say, it actually matters. It becomes real. So then level 3 is what we call journey oriented. So then the number one mistake in level 3 is attachment to outcome. And so what you actually do in level 3, let go of the goal that you actually just created. You don't actually let it go. You can still have it. See, it's okay to have things. Don't let things have you. Don't let the goal have you, because if you're waiting for the thing to happen before you feel whatever it is that you want, then you're always like, I'm not worthy until I get this goal. Well, you're always going to be not worthy. So you're always going to push it away from yourself.
It's like kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, like you got a carrot just hanging just in front of you, and you're like never going to get the carrot. Right? Yep. So stop doing things for your worthiness and start doing things from your worthiness.
Love that.
Yeah, flipping the switch. So in level 1, you live in the past, which creates depression. Level 2, you live in the future, which creates anxiety. Level 3, you live in the present, which creates peace. Because in level 3, you realize there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path, and it's just a choice. And you realize it's not about the destination. It's about the journey, enjoying the journey. You don't go to a movie just to watch the final scene. You don't go to a dance just to do the very last step. It's to enjoy the entire thing. So it's about enjoying the whole entire journey and finding that inside of you, because all that goal is that the thing that you want, you don't actually want that thing. You don't want the goal. You want what you think the goal is going to give you. If I just get
how it's going to make you feel.
Yeah.
How you think it's going to make you feel, right?
That's what you think it's going to give you, is a feeling.
Yeah.
You don't want the business. You want the money that the business, or the impact of the business,
or the freedom, right? Or the impact. Yep.
But then it's really not even those things. It's not even about the money or the impact. It's about what that will make you feel. Okay, cool. Then I'll have some sort of certainty, some sort of feeling of purpose, or well, cool. Find that inside of yourself first, and then do it from there. So instead of chasing something, you become something. It's about flipping the switch. We were all born creators, but we've been conditioned to consume. It's about flipping the switch back from consumer to creator. So this is where humanity is right now, is trying to make the shift from level 2 to level 3, from human doing to human being, right? Yeah. So we're trying to flip that switch, and that's why the whole world's shut down, because couldn't shut themselves down. They had to finally get off the hamster wheel. They had to turn off the hamster wheel. No, you can't run anymore. What?
I was doing another interview with Derek Rydell a few months ago, he has Awakened Wealth, if you know his work at all. And he was saying Mother Nature gave the send everybody to their room.
Yeah, go to your rooms.
Go to your rooms. Chill out.
Yeah, just chill. Chill. It's okay. You'll be all right. What? No, I thought. Because see, you know what humanity's number one addiction is? It's not drugs or alcohol. It's not Netflix. It's problems. Humanity's number one addiction is problems. You notice a lot of times, say people are like, life is complicated. Actually, no, life is simple. It's very simple. It's love or fear. That's it. Like, it's very simple. Yeah, love or fear, you know, peace or problems. And you get to decide. But what it is we try to complicate it because we don't think that we're worthy of love. So we're making all these problems so we can go fix them so we can earn our way into love.
We're earning our way to heaven. We're earning our right to exist. We're earning our right to share. Who am I to say? Who am I to contribute? Who do I think I am? All of that. I love it.
Yeah. So most people have.
Let's stop it. Let's just stop that.
Yeah. Let's stop. Like, most people have no business trying to love anybody because until you understand that love is a noun, you should like just let go of love being a verb. Like just forget that love is a verb. It's not something you do until you understand that's who you are. Right. So people are still trying to do it because if I can just do it enough, then I'll finally be worthy of it. No, just be it. Once you be it, then from there, it just starts to happen. And so that's
if you're doing, you got to do it the right way and try and figure it out and try and, why isn't it working, and analyze and process and get all up in your head about it instead of allowing and allowing and allowing.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. Level 3, that's a great level. And, if you can just get right up into there, go ahead and get your clarity and focus. So remember, it's important to set the goals. We're not saying get rid of your goals. I'm not saying, don't go to Disney World. I'm saying, don't go to Disney World to get happy. Get happy, then go to Disney World. Because if you lose Disney World, where's your happiness at? No, get it from the inside, and then do things from abundance. Do things from whatever that you're searching for. Do it from that place. Stop making decisions based upon where you think that you are. Make the decisions based upon where you want to be. Like, ask the question. Like my wife, I remember when she had never really known how to love herself. Now we all know how to love ourselves, but we just forget, and we forget,
or we don't think it's important, or it's too vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, we do the wrong thing so long that the right thing feels wrong. So loving herself felt really, really wrong, and so she had to start asking this question: what would someone who loved themselves do right now?
Beautiful.
So she asked the question, and the question she'd go, well, someone who loved themselves would do this, and then she would just do what somebody who loved themselves would do. When I became a successful real estate investor, how I did that is like, well, what would a successful real estate investor do right here? And then I would take that action. One thing that a real estate investor does is make offers. My first 6 months of trying to be a real estate investor, I did 0 deals. How many offers do you think that I put in those 6 months? 0, not one. Not one. Like, I haven't done a single deal for 6 months. Well, I didn't put a single offer in. How am I going to do a deal when I haven't made an offer?
Okay, pause. This is applying to you if you're growing a transformation business. If you want to make an impact and have an income in a business, offers are quite relevant if you take these steps. If you don't make offers, you won't have business. And if you take these 3 steps, making those offers, coming from love, coming from that who you want to be, it's total freedom. It's very powerful. So take notes, watch the replay. If you're here, please comment, let us know you're here, and say hi. And I don't want to interrupt the flow anymore. I think we're going to step 4. Yeah,
it's very important. You've got to make the offer. And if you're not making the offer, you're still worried about what other people think. You're like, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be this.
What are they going to greedy, salesy, spammy, right? And if you don't make an offer, you're leaving people who are looking for what you are here to contribute hanging. You are hanging them out to dry. You're not showing up fully. It is as natural as the next step in a conversation. And if you're fully self-expressed, that's my theme for the summer of self-expression, then you are expressing your offers it's the most fun you'll ever have. It feels so good because you're holding the possibility for somebody to have the transformation that you can help support them in. So, okay, soapbox aside, step 4, Jonathan England.
All right, so once you've released your attachment to outcome, now you're whole and complete. Now there's nothing this world can add to you. You're not seeking anymore. You're not like trying to fill the voids. You actually are full, whole, and complete, and then that's when you start to, now you're no longer a drain, you're a fountain. You start to overflow around you. So it's called value oriented because now it's where you can add value. Now, if you'd have put a gun to my head when I was in level 2 and said, what level are you in? You told me about it. I'd have said, I'm in level 4. I'm just about adding value. I'm just here for my family. Now, what was really happening is I was building, this business, making all this money, taking my family on vacation all the time. We're all just having a great, just living the life, because I didn't think that I was worthy of that family unless I did that for them. So I was actually still in level 2. I was still giving to get. I was still trying to become worthy. So level 4 is like, hey, I'm whole and complete, full, and you just overflow into the world around you. So it's just realizing that relationships aren't a place you go to get, they're a place that you go to give, and you start to pour into the world around you. Now, it's important because you cannot unconditionally give if you're not unconditionally receiving, because they're two sides of the same coin. And
say that again.
You can't unconditionally give unless you're unconditionally receiving, right? So your level of giving is capped at your ability to receive. You might say, well, I'm a really great giver. Well, are you? How good are you doing at receiving right now? And if you're not making offers, you're not doing so hot at receiving, which means you're not doing so hot at giving relative to what you could do. If you were able to open your channel up to let the flow come in, then the channel of the flow would come out. So beautiful. Level 4, you're opened up because you're receiving fully in level 3 already. Level 2 is about, really, making the ask and doing things. Level 3 is opening to receive the abundance. And level 4 is let it flow. Let it just overflow out of you and just pour into the world around you. And so the number one massive mistake, level 4, is giving to get. Because if you start giving to get, then you go right back down into feeling like there's something missing from you, and you'll get into a scarcity mindset, and then you'll start the moment
you figure it out, got to try and make it happen. What am I doing wrong?
You'll get right back on the hamster wheel and start doing for rather than from, and then you'll just be chasing forever, chasing nothing forever, because you are what you were looking for, and so that's letting you shine again.
Okay, wait, write that down. You are what you're looking for.
I know, like everybody's
running around fast enough to do all these. We could be doing banners right now, but I'm having too much fun. Yeah, you are what you're looking for. Write that down, please.
Everybody feels like there's something missing. You're right. There is something missing. You're missing. You left out.
100%.
You literally people come. Like my wife, she teaches women. It's like some women empowerment kind of stuff, and they all have the same thing. They always say, "Well, I don't even know who I am anymore." It's like, well, this is good. Like, you never know. You never knowed. I don't know who I am. Well, you never knowed. You never NO'd because you've been so busy saying yes to everybody else. You never said yes to yourself. You left you out. So you never knowed. That's why you don't know who you are, because you never said no. So you left you out. It's time to remember who you are, because that's what your gift is. The thing that you've been like trying to figure out, who do I need to be for this world so they'll love me? Be you. You got one job, and that's our core message at Earthwaking. Your only job for being alive is to be you. The only way you can possibly fail is by trying to be something that you're not. Your difference is the only thing that can make a difference. So expressing
beautiful. We were just talking about this. I know some of my Dare to Soar ladies are going to be watching here, and they're here with us now. Say hi if you are. We were just talking about no is a complete sentence, and being able to prioritize your dreams, your desires, do what you want to do, and not keep letting it all sift away into what you think you have to do before you get to your good stuff. Right? Yeah. Super powerful.
And that goes back to what I was saying. Y'all are thinking love is a verb. Y'all need to get to a noun before you get to the verb. It's not a verb until you get it to a noun, until it's something that you are. You just be love, and then it can overflow. But that's what this little journey through these levels are. So level 2, I mean, you're saying no to the world and yes to your whatever your goals are. And so now that's where you actually started to receive. And then level 3, now you can just be in the moment. And then level 4. So y'all are trying to skip to level 4, trying to give value. I'm just going to give. I'm going to give and get. But you don't even know how to get. You don't know how to receive yet. Like, you've got to let yourself get filled up, or else you're like the little vase that just keeps pouring over, and then you tip over and crack, and then there's nothing left of you. So
it's all running out.
Yeah. So then level 4 is like, it sounds, well, that's got to be it, John. Just value, just pouring love into the world, just overflowing love. That's got to be it. Well, the only issue with that level is that you can't see the picture when you're inside of it. And so we're still experiencing life through this limited perspective, even in level 4. Now in level 3, you kind of really connect with everything. You merge, right? The oneness, but then you move back into the body in level 4, like the limited perspective, and you're just seeing things from here. So so level 3, it's like you woke up from this cage. Like you got out of the cage, you woke up, and it's like you stepped out of the cage, and now you realize it's a self-imposed prison, and the handle's on the inside, but you're looking around and other people don't know that. So level 4, you start unlocking cages, or showing people how to unlock their cages. But The problem is you could unlock a cage that you're not supposed to. What that means, like, you think that you know what is you're supposed to do. You're like certain this is like the greatest thing. Like, imagine if you hired a contractor to remodel your house, and then the floor guy comes in and on the weekend, and he's like, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm not going to ask anything in return. I'm just going to be a good dude and just come in here and do the floors. On Monday, the painter comes in. He's like, what the heck, man? I was going to paint. Now I got to cover up all these floors. It's like, you made my job way harder. The floor guy wasn't trying to get anything in extra, wasn't asking for bonus. He was just trying to do something good. But if he'd have been listening to the contractor, he'd have realized it wasn't time yet. So sometimes we're so busy trying to just do something good that we miss that sometimes we're actually not helping. Just like the trying to get the butterfly out of the cocoon because it's struggling so much, and then you kill the butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So level 5 is called soul oriented. This is just complete surrender. Not my will, but thine be done. You can't see the picture when you're inside of it. So it's kind of like you tap into a GPS system. Whether you want to call it intuition or you want to call it the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. If I'm using this pin and I'm calling it a hammer, it's still going to work. It doesn't matter what I call it. It's still going to work. So don't get stuck on the form. Go to the deep beneath the surface, right? So it's just complete surrender. And that's when but it's a journey, because people are like, well, I want to surrender my life. Well, you can't, because you can't give away something that you don't have. You got to take it back first. So go through this journey of taking responsibility for each aspect of your life, and then most people's teachers, preachers, friends, family, media, and government have their life. They got all these strings attached, and they're like little puppets on a string. You got to cut all the strings and remember who you are and take your power back, and then you can surrender it over to love. So
beautiful.
That's those 5 levels.
I love it. And so we get to give some gifts here, right? So we have an invitation for you guys, and we have a gift for you. And now these levels and this process and what you can actually do are available as a gift to you in Jonathan's book. And we're going to give the link to you link to that to you. What am I saying? And I've been reading it. I had a little piece of it here that really spoke to me. And I'm going to read it. Can I read a little bit of your book to you?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So it said, I'll make sure I find the right spot. If you are not in the process of waking up, if you are not in love with God and in love with your fellow man, then you are on this road to nowhere. I am not here to sell you fire insurance. I'm here to tell you that you can experience heaven. And you can start right now. All you have to do is let love in. Yeah. Did you know that success leaves clues? Did you know that by studying someone who has what you want, you can actually learn how to get it too? Did you know that you have chosen to exist in a reality in which there is someone who knows how to find heaven? And did you know that this someone incarnated for the sole purpose of blessing you with eternal love, joy, peace, and fulfillment? Beautiful. So beautiful. It touched my heart. That bottom I told you about at the beginning, I was stifling my own self-expression. And the first thing that happened when I woke up was whole songs started to drop into my head. And the first song that dropped into my head, I'm going to sing just a little bit because the synchronicity between what you're bringing through and our just recently connecting is really inspiring and exciting to me. So that first song said, I'm walking to work, doing my hustle. I'm in my goal oriented. I'm going to be an awesome actress, freaking going to hustle. And if I can make it there, living in New York City, walk into my job, and I'm having just these pink cloud epiphany experiences because of this huge surrender, my first huge surrender. And all of a sudden this song drops into my head. And it says, I don't know how much of it I can sing. I'm super emotional right now. It says, open up your mind and see the moment is at hand. And then you'll realize, and the truth you'll understand. Heaven is right here waiting for you, around you and everything you see. It's bigger than anything you've dreamed of, even you and me. And there's other verses and things. So I was reading this book, we just met, and I was like, I can't wait to bring this guy to my friends. And you guys read this book. I'm going to give you the link to this book. And Jonathan has an event. I just got signed up yesterday that he's also sharing, inviting us to for free. If you want to say anything about the book, please do. But tell us about the event too.
Yeah, the book, I guess it just came through me. So those words, those aren't my words. Those are words that just came through me. I was on a 40-day fast. I went 40 days without eating. Now, I knew I was supposed to write a book for several months, but I just wasn't doing it. And then one day I was like, all right, I knew that I was supposed to fast, and I'd never fasted before. So I was like, all right, I'll fast. And then I heard that it just got 40 days. I'm like, 40 days? What do you mean 40 days? I'm not going to eat for 40 days? Yeah, right. Then I just started bargaining. I'm like, I tell you what about, that book I'm supposed to write? I'll write the book and then I get to eat, right? It didn't turn out that way. The book was done in 2 weeks, but I, didn't eat for 40 days. But anyway, all that stuff just came through. That's
the same with that song. That's why it struck me, because I don't make up the songs mostly. They come through. So it's it's beautiful. And there's some really powerful things coming through your book. I'm excited and honored to get to share it with people.
Yeah.
Which I just did.
Yeah. So check out the book.
Post it in the comments, for sure.
She gave you a link. It's the PDF and the audio version. So maybe you could just want to listen to it. So you can just listen. It's me reading it. So you can be driving around in your car. It doesn't take any extra time. You can just allow yourself to just enjoy it. And it's a fun book.
It's lovely. It's lovely. It's really beautiful. I listened to about half, and I've read through other big chunks of it so far, because I just checked into it last night, or night before. But it's really beautiful, you guys, and we can all channel, we can all allow that level of clarity and insight to come through. So it's a beautiful teaching guide that is, as you said, through you, not of you necessarily. And it's got all of these tools and steps really beautifully illustrated and shared, so that you can, choose to wake up from wherever you are. It's beautiful, Jonathan. Yeah. And you're having a party in a couple of weeks. You're hosting a beautiful, amazing
event. Yeah, so we got this event. It's called Awaken Life Live. We actually just did one live here in Costa Rica. We just finished a few days ago. This is the first one we got to do live since the COVID thing, but it was just amazing to be here together. But we do it online via Zoom as well. We've been doing it since COVID. April 3rd, 4th, and 5th of last year was the first time we did it on Zoom, and it floored us. We had no idea that it was going to create a level of impact and transformation and connection that it did. We didn't think that was possible on Zoom, but it does. So we started doing it every 2 weeks. Now we're doing it about every month, and we'll have hundreds of people there every couple weeks or every month or so, and it's just, we go through these 5 levels. We'll teach on health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spiritual connection, leadership, and purpose. Those are like the 7 pillars that you'll get there. But it's less about teaching and more about So it's like we're going through life trying to figure out how to put the gas pedal down further. This is more about realizing that it's already full throttle. You just got your foot on the brake. Let your foot off the brake so you can just receive these things, instead of having to chase after them. Let them come from within you. And so this is 2 full days. It's 12 hours both days. And you can come for a little bit if you want. Like most people, I just say, just come for the first segment. It's like,
and they're like, I can't leave. I'm going to miss
people are like, most people are like, I was just going to come for 5 minutes. And then I was for 12 hours, 2 days. And, but it's just complete transformation. Everybody makes the journey. So I always say life is an 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. So in these 2 days, you'll make the journey from the mind through the emotions to the heart, from slavery to freedom. So you'll find what it is that you've been searching for, but you'll understand that it was you that you were looking for the whole time, and you'll find you. And so it's like, we're like these lighthouses that are walking around. It's like, so out here, but you're a lighthouse, but people have been throwing mud at you your whole life. So this event is just cleaning the mud off the lens, so the light can shine. And then everywhere you go, the light is. Everywhere you go, the love is. Everywhere you go, the abundance is. The health is. The happiness is. The joy, the peace. You are the source of it. It just pours through you. So
so jump in and play in this community, this transformation event. And it's like a mud bath. Is it taking the mud off of the lighthouse and shining your light? I did post the link to Awakened Life Live. Is it Awakened Life Live?
Yeah, Awakened Life Live. Yeah.
Awaken Life Live. I'm going to be there. I'm super excited. As you can see, I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down, and I love your message, and the channel being open, you guys, is what really John is modeling so beautifully for us. Come play in this soup. Come play in this ice cream bin, whatever it is for you. And, be ready to stop holding yourself back. Again, new levels of freedom, personal empowerment, purposefulness, filled with purpose, and not dimming your light for anyone. One of the things that was a teaching guide for me about 25 years ago was Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. And that very often quoted, who are we not to be brilliant? Who are we not to shine? Now I quote this all the time, and it's running out of my head.
I read that quote on day 2, right before Awaken Purpose segment.
Beautiful. So. Who are we not to be gorgeous, talented, fabulous, right? It is, you are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. And that is what we're about here. And what you're bringing through is super exciting to me and powerful. So come play at the party with us and be ready to wake up and have some fun and connect with other amazing people. I think the connection too, I was excited for this conversation, and I can feel a lot of the energy moving just because I'm picking up what you're putting down, and we're here together. So when we step into these containers, even when we're on the other side of the world, we step into the virtual container or we step into a real in-person container. Obviously they're different, but that energetic presence is moving from you, through you, and all around you, and being in high vibe communities where other people. So one of the things I teach is my process is called transformative witnessing. And when we step into a community, an experience where everyone there is there for the same transmutive purpose and all in the process. So they're taking the same risks, having the same awakenings, being as willing and open as each other, and witnessing that is alchemical. It is hugely transformative. So I am super excited to jump into your container as a creator of containers and learn and be inspired and really just soak in the high vibe of the potent connection and community that you're creating and holding space for so beautifully.
Yeah. On day 2, so I'll do a couple breakthroughs, I'll take one person and do a breakthrough, but they're just, we're all going to get the breakthrough through that one person.
Holding that, yeah.
A couple of those, but then on day 2, everyone walks through like a breakthrough, and then when we get to Awaken Purpose, every single person walks out of there with their purpose. Like, you will have your purpose. Like, nobody can walk away. So, I don't know what my purpose is. Never again will you be able to use that excuse. I don't know what my purpose is. You can lie to yourself.
Be careful. If you show up here, you will be transformed, and you will walk out knowing and empowered and having the tools to create the life you want. So if you're not ready to do that or afraid of that, come anyway, and you'll be lifted up and carried. But I love that never again will you not be able to know your purpose. That's an extraordinary promise. I love it.
It is. So you can't use that excuse. So if you've been using excuses like that, they're going to be gone. So you're not going to be able to use them anymore. You can go use them back out there. People who didn't see you go through your transformation. But
the cat's out of the bag. You'll know. You'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah. Beautiful. Anything else that you want to share before we wrap it up? Thank you so much for this generous amount of time and this awesome conversation that just touches my heart and is part of so aligned with what I'm here to do. Anything else? Any other words of wisdom or invitations, last thoughts for our folks out there?
First of all, just thank you, Michelle. I mean, you're just a beautiful soul, just open channel, just love pouring through. It's when you see you can spot one from a mile away. So I spotted Michelle from a mile away. I'm like, yeah, right there. You can just see the love that just pours through. She's opened it can just flow through. So thank you for just creating community and holding space and being a lighthouse leader in this world.
Thank you.
Lighthouses don't go chasing boats around, by the way. Lighthouse.
Really good.
So I know Michelle.
Thank you. No, it still feels really good to hear and to be seen and to be. It's been a journey, as you know. So I love that. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Anything else?
Just thank you to everyone who participated in being here. And
Yeah, and when you come back, if you watch this, if you find value, please feel free to share this. And these events and this book is available. So don't keep it to yourself. You can practice sharing the love as a verb. Do it from the noun, and feel free to comment and ask any questions that you have. And we'll make sure that somebody circles back around if you have any questions or thoughts that you want to share. Raise your voice in the comments. That helps other people find this good, juicy love fest as well. And we will see you, those of you who choose to live the life and create the life you want and awaken up to the next level, whatever that is for you, to join us at John's event. Thanks for being here. Good to share you.
Thank you. Bye.